Less Travel with your hosts, Bryan Carman and Paul Ahnert.
Hey, welcome to a Sunday afternoon edition of Road Less Traveled. We are joined today with Dale Thompson. Today's discussion is going to be a little unbridled, if you get my meaning, and we're going to be talking about some stuff that's coming up down the road and happening right now. So we're super excited, Dale, to have you on the show. Thanks for coming on again.
Well, thank you. And that intro's I always, when I watch you guys from the beginning and hear the intro, I'm always waiting for the big bang instead of the slow resolve, like the big build up and then crash cymbals. Everybody hits. It never happens. I don't know why I keep expecting it. It's weird.
Maybe we need an update.
Yeah.
We need to update. John and I made that like in 10 minutes. And usually when we do the drums, we have like 8 mics or more. We only use 2 microphones on that, and we just did the guitar and the drum real quick. And I was like, that works.
You were recording the old Zeppelin way. Just put a mic in the middle of the room and go for it, I remember when Jerry used to play drums for us, he could actually count, and that's weird for a drummer. But anyway, he could count. And he, at the end of a song, I would want some accents. So I'd be like 2. He'd go, no, and I'd be 4, no.
Oh, that's cool.
And then they get mad at me because I wouldn't stop doing it. So for like 3 minutes, I'm making him crash the cymbals. They're like, "Is this maybe not as long, Dale?" So I'm like, "All right, well, whatever you think." Amazing.
Gotta love it.
I think you mentioned Zeppelin. I think the cymbal sound is what made John Bonham.
Yeah, he was heavy-handed and had heavy feet.
One of the albums I heard, he put the microphone in a stairway.
I got one up on that on Kinetic Faith. We put it up the chimney of the house that we were in. So we had a microphone in the chimney.
What prompted that?
I think that was either Steve Griffith and his experimental side, or it could have been Plinky. I don't know if Plinky did that or not, because Plinky was not as organic as what Steve went for, more organic sounds and stuff. And so I think it might have been Steve. I can't remember where we recorded with Steve at now. It's all a blur.
Right.
I don't know where that was. Well, anyway, we did do that album. I know we did because it's out, but I don't remember much about it. So
did that mic in that chimney, that give it a little bit of reverb, or was that the effect you guys were looking for there?
I couldn't tell that it did anything other than whichever producer did it just wanted to tell people he had done it. It just made no sense. Here's the funny thing about drumming. You go into the studio and you're going to get your drum sound, and you make the drummer beat on the drums until he's almost exhausted, and then you go, there it is, perfect sound, and then the drummer goes, the heads are wore out. All right, let's change the heads and we'll start again. I don't get it. I don't know why the world needs drums.
Or when the guitarist is trying to tune, the drummer's back there playing around. I'm like, hey.
Yeah.
The needle's going.
That's what turns me off with going to sound check is I don't want to hear the great thing now that we've got Michael Lowy playing for Bride. Mike, man, he's so respectful. He's so respectful for everybody talking. He sits there, very reverent, and he's not crashing cymbals or stuff while you're trying to get your thoughts together. So he's the guy that you want. So anyway, enough about drummers.
Yeah, so we got some exciting news coming down. You got some exciting stuff going on now, and you've made an announcement recently about, I guess, October or September.
Yeah, October the 10th. Yeah, that's the official last Bride show in the United States.
Okay, so what do you got going on now, and what does retirement from Bride and other musical projects look like for you going forward?
Well, I've got a garden started out here, so I'm going to have to tend to that all summer. It's quite a big garden. I've got everything from watermelon and cucumbers. I've got some unusual cucumbers. They look like lemon. lemons. They're round. Got hot peppers, of course. You know me and my ghost peppers. I have to have the ghost peppers. Tomatoes, stuff like that. But yeah, October the 10th at Rock House 39. That's in Lancaster. I keep telling people wrong, but it's in Lancaster, Ohio. And that's if you're close and want to see Bride, you've never seen us, come and see us. It's going to be a very special night. We got some special guests going to be there. People are coming from miles around for me to be able to say goodbye to them. Then after that, we play our final show in Germany in September. We're going to play a festival in September where we're going to, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it so everybody knows and they'll be excited. We're using Narnia's drummer and bassist. We'll use Andre and Jonathan. So, so they'll be our backup band there. And then it's going to be back to Brazil. We're going to do probably 8 days in Brazil, hit Costa Rica, hit Mexico, and that's our goodbye to South and Central America. And then at that point, I'm just continuing to pursue my literary work, my writing and stuff. I really wanted to do more Christian writing, but the horror aspect of it, my short stories, the spooky stuff, the Twilight Zone, Stranger things that I'm writing, that caught the attention of Velox Books, and they signed me. So by July, I'll have 6 short story collections out, or 6 books in the short story collection. And each book probably has 16, 18 stories or something like that in it. Takes 30, 40 minutes, according to how fast you read, to get through a story. So it's just my imagination at work, things that I've thought about. And today, believe it or not, I wrote my 592nd short story. Wow. And they're short stories, but they're 5,000 to 8,000 words. So that's a lot of stories. And I've got probably 24 novels, that many novellas. So that's what I'm pursuing. But I started a book club for people that for more, it would benefit them more. Say, you don't want to get caught up buying my series because there's so many books now. It's like, oh, if I got collection 1, I need collection 2. That starts getting costly. So for $20, it's like $2 a month, less than $2 a month. People can sign up, and I'll send them a story each month, sometimes 2 stories, maybe even 3 stories, maybe even a book that's never been published. So you're going to be getting, so it's a great deal. And if anybody likes to read, and all of these stories that I'm sending in the book club are Christian speculative fiction. So it's based around Christianity, good versus evil. Some of it's still got some spooky stuff in it. There's no gore, nothing like that. But I really get into the psychological aspects of people because I'm quite interested in that. And oddly, there's just a lot of people going through emotional turmoil in their lives and how they deal with it. And it could be supernatural, it could be physical, it could be just a psychological problem somebody might have, and they're not pushy Christian things that that you're going to be reading and it's like he's preaching at me, because these are actual stories.
Right.
Most of them have to do with something I've done or somebody I know. I use a lot of names from people around our parts because where I come from in Bullitt County, we've got some crazy named people. I had an uncle named Boots. The people that ran the store down here, that was Hebe and Mutt. Mutt was his wife. So I've got a collection of all these hillbilly nicknames. Boozer, you can imagine why he was called Boozer. And they end up in my stories a lot. And
is that why you sent me this picture of you staring at your birdhouse?
Is that me staring at my birdhouse?
No, that's
Christopher Walken.
What's his name again?
Christopher Walken.
Yeah, this was a thing. It says, one day you're young, and then the next day you're standing in your backyard like this, staring at your bird feeder.
Man, I love that guy, man. I tell you, and actually, sometimes I will think of characters. There's one story I've got about some guys that goes into the woods to find a magical cave, and it just happens. It's Nicolas Cage.
Oh.
Who else? I can't remember all I put in it now, but it's all the quirky actors out there, and the group of guys go out there. they're trying to find this magical cave, and then of course, crazy stuff starts. Oh, Woody Harrelson's in it.
Dude, you gotta make this a movie.
No, I've tried to get that off the ground. I know a Hollywood screenwriter, and he's on location. I need to talk to him. Him and another guy, Tommy Wood, he wanted to do some short films with me, but it hadn't got off the ground. It's hard to get sponsorship. I've got another guy that wants to do a full biography on Bride. Come with his camera, sit down, tell him what we know from front to finish, and put it together as like, here's what you don't know, or here's what you thought you knew but you didn't, that type of thing. So, obviously I've ruffled a lot of feathers in my day. Sometimes purposely, sometimes unintentionally, because some people are just that thin-skinned. But even to this day, there's other artists that won't give me the time of day. So, that's on them. But after this run with Bride here, and I get into my books, then I get to melt into my little cave and become more of a hermit than I already am.
I could relate to that. You're in luck. The next month we're going to be having some people in the Hollywood Christian filmmaking business. On May 3rd, we're going to have Robert Enko on, and he's part of the Hollywood Prayer Network, and he's connected to tons of people. And there'll be other people I met last week at the Rise Up Con that are involved in the Christian filmmaking. So stick around, check our coming up shows, and might be able to make some connections.
I would like to talk to someone that actually has the ability to have the vision for what I'm doing. And these stories that I've got may be easily made into a series, easily like Stranger Things or The Twilight Zone or The Outer Limits. Not so much Creep Show, because they did get into some gore. I'm not into the gore thing. But I think that would be cool. I mean, otherwise I'll just keep doing my book club and hope people keep sending me $20. It's $20 a year. I mean, not a month. It's $20 a year.
Right.
I mean,
that's a great deal.
When people will stand in line at McDonald's and say, do I want 2 Big Macs or not? Yeah, give me the 2. Well, just save that money and send it to me, and I'll send you
coffee when they go to those stores. What are they called again? What's that one?
Starbucks.
Yeah.
Don't
waste so much. Yeah.
Oh man, don't go there. Join my book club. It's fun. It's and you can write to me and I'll answer your questions.
Don't go to McDonald's. Join.
Boycott McDonald's. Join Dale's book club.
Or is it Puppet Show? Dale's book club.
I'm always under the Puppet Show. Always. It's here tonight, folks, at the Puppet Show, and Dale. It's
For those who don't know, that was a Spinal Tap reference.
Yeah. Let's hope they know. If they don't need to be watching the show.
Exactly. Pretty lame. Just unsubscribe. Just kidding.
No, don't unsubscribe.
We just lost like 15. Paul's yelling at me.
You may have lost 15 just because I'm on here.
We'll take that chance, though, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's been a lot of controversy surrounding you over the years and stuff that you believe, and I'm gonna come out and say, I'm probably closer to where you are than I was even just a few years ago, because conversations that we've had offline in Messenger and stuff going back a couple of years have caused me to do my research.
Well, it's odd because we played with a band not too long ago, and they confessed to me that they were exactly with me on my theology, but they weren't ready to come out and tell anybody because they saw the brutal public display of insanity that has came to me. And I mean, I don't want to be the only guy here leading the charge that God is sovereign and God is love, and that's how you respond, Yeah, but it's it seems like I'm out here putting my neck out, and other people are like being kind of quiet about it, or just like give me a little thumbs up in the corner that believe exactly like I am. But nobody looks at the thumbs who's posting those.
Right.
It's just like this morning, I've started another fun little debate, but
I was in there.
Yeah, people see things that they don't even know what they're talking about, and I just can't help myself but to. But here's the good thing: I'm not just doing it to provoke people, because that's bad. So maybe I am a little bit, so I'm kind of bad. But I've gotten enough positive response back from people who have said, Dale, I stopped listening to Bride because of the way you believe. I said I never listened to another Bride album, and then boom, God talked to me, and I just want to let you know I'm on your side. I understand now. I see. Can you recommend some books? Can you recommend some things for me to look into? And I do. And I got my little Kindle. I didn't bring it out this morning, but I got a Kindle that's probably got 50 books on the subject. They all are pointing to the same thing and saying different things. So you get a big, broad spectrum of, from a Jewish perspective, and the church fathers' perspectives, and modern day perspectives, and how the gospel has been twisted for financial gain and to instill fear into people rather than freedom. There is no fear in freedom. Freedom, it means you're free, and you're at liberty. If you have fear, your liberty has been taken away. And that's something that I don't want people to have to live through, because life's hard enough than to worry about, if you died today, if you're going to a place you could never get out of and would burn forever. That makes no sense. Did God come up with this plan? Yeah, he came up with it. So God thought, oh, I'm going to call you my children, and I'm going to love you while you are yet in your sins. But if you don't love me back, man, have I got something for you. That makes no sense. Love me, love me, or I'm going to drop you. Go ahead, tell me you love me. Tell me you love me. Tell me you love me. That's the mentality of what I came out of. It was the turn or burn situation. And oh my gosh, the more you read into it, I mean, just read Romans chapter 8 and Romans chapter 11 and Romans chapter 5, and Paul speaks about the reconciliation and never mentions hell one time in his entire writings. Now, this is a man that was given the gospel. He called it my gospel, given a gospel exclusively to Paul to take out to the Gentiles. And never one time did he mention this place called hell. Nowhere. And if you look at the original language, the word hell isn't even in the Bible. You got Hades, you got Sheol, Gehenna, and these things that people try to connect the dots to. But that's not even the most incredible thing about the way that God has shown me things. The most incredible thing is that I'm loved, and I have relationship, and I have an exclusive audience with God whenever I want. I don't have to like get worked up to be in the spirit. Nope. Because I know God is there. I don't have to put on a show or evoke the spirit. It's like an incantation in church,
Ooh, can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
You just described it. I got the images. It was Aaron up on the mountain with the false gods, and they're cutting themselves and trying
Elijah.
to. Yeah, they were trying Elijah. Okay. They're trying to do the incantations, like you said, to draw their God. We don't have to do that.
No, it's much simpler. We've complicated the Gospels to such a degree that I think that if any of the disciples could come and talk to us, they would be like, guys, first of all, there's no commandment to ever have written the Bible, but you did it anyway. And there was no commandment to start denominations, but you did it anyway. So let's get this thing straight. And then they would try to straighten us out. I graduated church a long time ago, and I don't actively go to church every Sunday or anything like that, though we do visit churches, and I have fellowship with my neighbor, Ron, and his wife, who are incredible Bride fans and incredible Christians. I didn't know that I was getting a house right next door to a Bride fan, and it's way cool because
that'd be totally killer, dude. Who's moving in next door? My lead singer. What?
Well, it's wild because you take so much gumph from people in the Christian rock and stuff that I look out front and Ron's mowing my front yard, and he don't want anything. He don't want me to pay his gas or nothing.
That's cool.
He's just and he come over, Dale, anytime you want. Borrow my tiller for your garden or whatever. And that, to me, that's Christianity. That's having a brother in Christ and you can depend on. The thing that always got me, especially when I was being ridiculed, which is still today, is that people would do this. So I do my investigation on the perpetrators. I go and I look, see if I've ever spoken to them at all ever in Messenger. 9 times out of 10, they've never even contacted me before. Not once have I heard from them. They have no association. They're not on my friends list. They come out of the woodwork just like trolls from underneath of a bridge. And, and the onslaught starts with the jabs and stuff. I have a very familiar vocalist of a very familiar Christian band who recently come out again and gave me the old 1-2. And we're supposed to play shows with them. So if I have anything to do with it, we won't be playing shows with them. So hopefully I can get them off the bill, because I do not want to be unequally yoked with unbelievers. And I consider that sort of attitude as being an unbeliever, when you can't come to the person that you have a grief with and say, listen, brother to brother or brother to sister or whatever it is, let's talk about this and see what we can conclude, because if I'm wrong, man, I will admit it in a heartbeat. But if you're wrong, you gotta swallow the pill. It's bitter. But
Dale, do you see what they're doing to us? And I say us because I get attacked too. They attack. If they would spend that energy following 2 Timothy 2:15, this would be a better place, because why don't they just hear what you're telling them, or hear what I'm telling them, or what Paul's telling them, and then research it? Why is their first go-to attack? Well, the Pharisees, what'd they do to Jesus every time he spoke the truth? They wanted to kill him. Yeah. I laugh every time, because they go, and then they plotted how to kill him. Well, these guys were murderers. They're like gangsters.
Well, I know that these people they're only coming at me for the reason to try to expose or embarrass me or make me look bad, and too late for that. And so they come to me like that, but they're not interested in what I have to say, because I know they're not, because I'll send them a lengthy thing just packed full of scriptures. I mean, they'll write me and go, you're wrong. You're unequivocally wrong.
I saw that one.
And I'm like, and where's the scriptural proof? So I sent them a whole lesson back. Here, check this out. Most of them will write me in 2 seconds.
Yep.
And I'm like, you did not read what I sent. And the reason you didn't read it is because you fear it. You fear that I might be right, and you'll have to change your mind, and you'll have to go to your pastor and tell him that you believe this now. And he's going to look at you and say, you're full of the devil. And it's going to blow your life apart, because that's what happened to me when I started deconstructing my life as a Pentecostal Assembly of God guy, and allow the Holy Spirit to minister to me. And the Bible even says that he would rather nobody minister to us except the Holy Spirit. If you can get, I get stuff from this guy and this guy and this guy. I'm reading constantly, and that it's the Holy Spirit that once that word goes in, he's the fertilizer, he's the growth, he's the one that makes it flourish, and
he's the sustainer of the gift he gave.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there's nobody else can do it. I can't do it. And even the faith I have is not my faith. It's the faith that Christ left me. Everything that we do, and I do believe this. I believe that, the Bible says, as in Adam all died, and in Christ all are made alive. So I do believe that God has really dealt mainly with 2 different men on this planet since he started, and we're all included. You're either included in Adam or you're included in Jesus. He either looks at you as one or the other right now, unregenerate or resurrected and already in glory with him, because God knows the beginning and the end, And I think that if you could ever grasp that, it's like, am I with Adam or am I with Christ? And if I'm with Christ, look at all these promises.
Yep.
And if I'm with Adam, what is the penalty of sin? It's death.
Yep.
It's not hell, it's death. The wages of sin is death. Jesus didn't come to save nobody from hell. He come to save us from this present evil world, because that's the world we live in. We are being rescued from this present evil world, and from the law of sin and death. That's what we're being saved from.
Can you answer the question about this? Because it's a term that keeps coming up, and I know I read it the wrong way. But what is the second death then, and who goes there, and who's assigned? Because it talks about the second death.
The second death is the death of death.
Hell and Hades are dropped into the lake of fire.
It is the death of death. No more death. Yeah. All death is gone. When we look at God, the Bible speaks to us and tells us that God is a consuming fire. He was in the bush, but the bush was on fire and was not consumed. God is about purification. God is about proving. God is about testing. He sends the smith to blow on the coals of fire, to light a fire under us sometimes. We think we're being tormented by the devil, and sometimes it's God doing the same thing that he did with Job and bringing something into your life to burn out something that you don't need any longer, because everybody will go through the fire. But some people will not suffer as much loss in this fire. The Bible plainly says that. They'll not suffer loss. Other people will. You know what that loss is? That loss is the love of the world that you thought you had. That loss is the carnal mind that you kept feeding junk into. That loss is the addiction that you thought sustained you. That is the loss that these people are going to experience. Imagine living a life and you think, I've lived a pretty good life. I've built all this stuff. I've got cars. I've got celebrity. People love me, and I haven't hurt anybody. And on that day when you think you've done everything right, but yet you've not accepted Christ, suddenly you realize that your entire life was a lie. You've been caught in a lie by the God of the universe, by the creator of all things. That is a burning sensation in the heart and soul of a man that will begin to consume everything that he thought he was, because God has never saw him as this wicked, terrible thing. When I was a sinner, God loved me. When I was a Christian, become a Christian, God loved me. Did his love change or increase because I confessed with my mouth the Lord Jesus and believed in my heart? No, he loved me the same. And God, that's why God's no respecter of people. And he's no respecter of who you were or who you are now. It is all God loving. So anyway, that's the message for today. If I could get, John, could you get the offering tray, please? Thanks. Betty, play that sad song. Let's really work.
I was going to say, we didn't play the songs yet.
Let's get those ushers out. And remember our building fund. You know,
cash in your nest eggs.
Yeah, and our missionary and my Mercedes out front. Need new tires. Pray God will give me the tires for my car.
Yeah, I want to take a trip to Hawaii this month. So.
I think I want to switch to the prosperity gospel. I would really like to have a Mercedes Benz.
Well, you know, the prosperity gospel is very, very cool to be entertained by, because it's very charismatic. You know, and I remember going to watch R.W. Shambach in the day in actual tent revivals, and there was Jerry B. Walker that come into Kentucky here at Evangel Tabernacle, and he held, like, I can't remember, it was like 20-something weeks of revival. It could have been a year of revival. I can't remember. But after a while, man, I was just like, you know, you're sitting there, you're watching people hit the floor, and Jerry B. doing his dancing, and all the pretty girls with the cool hats are sitting up front. Because Jerry B. was not single. I mean, he wasn't married. So they were all hoping they could be Jerry B. Walker's, be a preacher's wife. And when I look back on that today, I want to throw up.
Yep.
It makes me sick. It really does.
Yep.
It is. Yeah. It's a farce.
And I'm right with you.
Yeah.
I'm right with you. You know. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I thought you were done with your thought.
No, I've always got a thought, and sometimes it just don't come out right. So,
no, you mentioned that you're kind of graduated from church. I think you said, or I forget the term you used.
He said that.
I've been saying I'm between churches for about a year now.
That's me.
I think I'm gonna just have to come down to the level and say that I'm terribly disappointed and burnt out with corporate 501(c)(3). Church is a business, and what I really want is I want a small fellowship. I want a small group of believers that get together, who love each other, want to study the Word. The only time we're going to pass a plate around is if one of us has a dire need, and everybody else is going to chip in to help them.
Because that's biblical.
Yeah. Nobody's getting a salary. Nobody's building a monument to themselves.
Nobody leads. Nobody leads. Everybody is one mind and one accord. There's a church. It's a holiness church up on the hill, and they have big events and stuff. And pretty much whoever wants to speak can speak. Now, I don't probably adhere to their beliefs because it's the beehives and the hairdo still and all that. But I mean, that's sort of like. Holiness is. The women wears dresses all the time, and the men are always dressed nice unless he's out on the farm. But it's to be able to have a say in church. Can you imagine being you're one of these big super TV preachers, and somebody stands up in the middle of your sermon and says, "Hey, I've got a word." You know what would happen to you? That you'd be dragged out the back, man. It's like, we can't have this disruption. I'm off a teleprompter now, for heaven's sake.
Hey, Dale, I used to like that in my small, very judgmental, legalistic Baptist church. But that was one thing I really liked, because the pastor was down to earth, and he'd always say, anybody they wouldn't say have a word, but it would be basically the same thing, but now with that terminology, because you didn't want to be charismatic.
Well, does anybody have anything on their heart they'd like to share?
Yeah, there you go. That's the one.
And I would like to stand up now at that point and go, yes, there's no reason whatsoever the Catholics have all the cool stained glass and we have none. I want stained glass because it creates a mood. I love stained glass.
Well, you and I both know a guy that can get you all the stained glass you want.
Yeah. Miles sent me a stained glass. Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, Miles.
Yeah, I've got it.
Grab it.
It's over there in the dark.
You can grab it.
Hold on, let me show it to you.
We're all about it.
Yeah, and while Dale's grabbing that, I want to say this.
Check the comments too.
Yeah, we'll check the comments in a minute. I just want to say this. Dale in no way is telling you that salvation through Christ alone is not a thing. That's really cool.
Yeah,
Miles made that?
Yeah, Miles made that.
That's cool.
And he sent it to New Zealand, and I brought it back from New Zealand. I had it in my kitchen window in New Zealand. Now I have it in my office. But you just mentioned something. People say, why should I serve God if I'm already going to go to heaven? And I'm like,
that's poor.
Why wouldn't you serve God?
There you go.
Who wants to go through this life
alone,
having to go to a rehab or to have to go through things without a single person to talk to about it in this life? Because in this life, you're going to have hardship. You're going to have trouble. I would be lost, and I don't. Maybe it's metaphorically or literally or whatever. If I didn't have the Lord to speak to, especially in times of need. And it's sad to say that sometimes we don't talk to God as often until we get into trouble. But He doesn't hold that against us. He's like, okay, I was just wondering when He's going to come back around and act like that I was the God of your life. So yeah, I mean it is true, and there is the wages of sin, and there's also a penalty. You can't do anything without circumstances. You can't go out here and rob a bank just because you think you're going to heaven and everybody's got to let you go because you have freedom. Mm-hmm. You're going to go to jail for robbing a bank. So yeah, I mean, so this thing is ridiculous. I don't know why you'd want to do some of the things that people said. Well, I could drink and smoke and cuss and cheat on my wife and I still get to go to heaven. I'm like, why are you even asking such ridiculous questions for?
Yeah,
if that's where your mind's at, then you're not a Christian to begin with. If you are so desiring those things, go do them. Don't let your faith Christianity hold you back, because you're not gaining any ground with that mindset. We are to be transformed by the renewing of our minds.
Yep.
So people need to get their act together and stop saying silly stuff.
Well, we need to realize that what we're living in is not the norm.
No.
The garden was the norm, and everything went haywire. So now we've got to be rewired. And if we're not, then we're going to feed our desires more than God.
Well, I think too that sometimes we forget and we think that something bad happened in the Garden of Eden and that God lost control. But, God never had a plan B. God only had a plan A.
He knew.
Because he already, before the foundations of the world, for all you flat earthers, for the foundation of the world, there was a lamb slain already. Before the foundations of the world. And he knew you before you were ever in your mother's womb. Yeah. I had a discussion with my wife the other night, and I said, it's not inconceivable to think that since we all do come from God, some people say stardust, but I don't know how much dust a star has. But anyway, we all come from God. So Jesus is the light that lights every man that comes into the world. So there's already a spark in us, already a light in us that identifies us with God. And I mentioned to her, I said, wouldn't it be something to find out that we volunteered to be in this spot with a memory erase? Like we said, God says, okay, who wants to go to this world? I've got a plan to be able to draw you guys closer to me because I love you so much. And okay, who's going to be the murderer? Right here. Okay. Who wants to be the preacher caught in adultery? Right here, and we all volunteer for our roles. And in the end, we find out that, it was all planned from front to finish, and that that's just the way God is, because we don't really know how God is.
I can't believe I'm Dale, like you, I'm getting attacked for telling truth, because I'm like, okay, what part of God being sovereign don't you agree with?
Yeah. I mean, God is love. That's the definition of love. And if you tell that to some of these people, the first thing they go is, but.
Uh-huh. But
there is no but. You got to stop adding that in. And when we start quoting what Jesus said, you better look at who he was talking to. If he was talking in parables, because he borrowed those parables, he didn't make those parables up. Those parables were around for years. That's the way they communicated with one another. They told stories. So everybody that wanted to get a message across, you'd have a story that people could relate to. There was these guys, they had a vineyard and blah, blah, blah. That story had been told before. It wasn't an original story, but the way Jesus told it became his original story.
Well, storytelling now is different because like you said, the whole culture was a verbal culture, and they met and they read the scriptures from the scrolls. And if anybody stood up and gave a word and it was wrong, they were corrected.
Yeah,
immediately.
And you see what happened with that by the time that we end up with our Bibles today. At one time, the Catholic Church would not allow their congregations to have Bibles.
Yep.
It was this is spiritual stuff that you can't handle. But our man back here, on this throne with the robe and
the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, this Wizard of Oz fella, he can tell you what it means, because he's in tune. And while you're at it, call him Father, would you? He likes that.
Yeah, and that's why we call that period of history the Dark Ages.
Yeah,
I mean, literally.
Exactly.
The Bibles were chained up and in Latin that nobody could read or understand.
Yep.
And you only got what you were given, and that was it. And it was all designed to control you.
Yeah,
but
the comments real quick.
On purpose. Yeah, it was purposely done.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I'll go to the comments in a second. I just want to say this real quick. Okay. You mentioned earlier the early church fathers. And, if you go back before Augustine, and I'm going to say it, I'm going to say something very controversial. Augustine kind of was a poison and is a poison to good doctrine and theology. And if you go back before him, there were three very viable thoughts on what afterlife is for the unbeliever. And they all coexisted. So you had the eternal conscious torment people, and you had the destruction people, and then you had the universal people, and they all used scripture to back up what they believed, and they all coexisted, and nobody called each other a heretic, and they all were like, I see where you see that, but I see it like this, and everybody got along, and they loved each other. And then Augustine shows up and he says, this is thus saith the Lord, and a few years after that, there's a council that comes along and says everything Augustine said is right, and anything that doesn't agree with it is heresy. And here we are.
Yep. Well, and there was plenty of the church fathers, like Origen. He really pushed the universalist doctrine, and he was basically called a heretic and excommunicated for his beliefs. In the end, they just couldn't cope with it, because they knew that if you preach the gospel where God is love, unconditional, and mercy, mercy is greater than judgment and things of that nature, you're going to lose control of the people. Then they're going to start thinking for themselves. Then what are we going to do with what are we going to do with our organization we've got here? You know, how are we going to survive if all these people have a brain to figure this out? We lose our robots. We lose what we're programming here.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway, man, I love music.
Well, so do these guys that have been shooting comments to us. We've got Joshua Reynolds. Hey, Josh. Great to have you on.
Yeah, Josh.
And my computer's doing stupid things right now. And we've got Tim Cocroft, and Tim's watching with us, South Africa.
Hey, thanks for tuning in.
And he's asking about Jeff Godwin. Is that somebody you know, Dale? Jeff Godwin? Is that a name you're familiar with?
Yeah. Why do I know that name?
What about him? Bride was a prime target of his.
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. That guy's crazy. That's why I know the name. Yeah, that's why.
Road Less Traveled doesn't take any responsibility for just kidding. You got that voice.
Most guessing callers, not necessarily those.
Well, okay, that was bad for me. So I'll change. I'll rephrase it. He's off his freaking rocker. So
we've never had to use a disclaimer until Dale Thompson comes on.
No, I don't. You know what? That's why I love live. No
I'm
holds
totally
barred.
joking. He knows it.
And Dale's unbridled today.
Well, you know, I've had to block so many people, and I do these experiments where I'll block people, then I go on a few months later and unblock them all and see how quickly they come back. And they do. They're it's like some sort of they're like a cancer that the doctor says you've got it beat. You've got it beat. And 3 months later, you're all happy. Oh man, no problems in the world, and it's back. You know, it's like
that's because cancer is a parasite, and they poke the hole and they let it all out, and well, we won't go there.
Well, you know, and I love these people just the same, but they obviously don't love me back. So,
well, when we start, I have to confess to you, Dale. Back in the day, I saw you in Cadillac at the Potato Festival.
And Lord knows I love Spuds.
Yep, and that stage, it looked like you guys put a Rector set together because it was so small. You guys you're bouncing all over the stage and everything's wiggling. But I'm like, yeah, but these guys rock. Because my friend that doesn't even like your style of music heard Everybody Knows My Name and said, Bryan, you got to listen to this. And he does not like our style at all.
Wow.
And I was like, you like this? He goes, yeah. I'm like, this is awesome. Who is this? And then I found out a couple years later about your universalism, and I was like one of the buttheads. Threw away all my CDs, and I'm like, I'm not going to trust it. But you know what was happening looking back? I was being force-fed things that weren't all completely true by people that were trapped in some type of delusion, even though I believe these people love Jesus somehow. So I'm not condemning them.
Yeah.
But then I started to grow up. And then a whole bunch of things happened to me, you know, including my wife dying and all that stuff.
You know, it's a maturity thing, man. You know, you've been through the fire already. How much more fire do you need to go through?
No more, please. I keep telling God respectfully, though, Dale, because you hit a good spot for me. I'm like, okay, Job had an ending and got blessings.
Blessings in the next life, my brother.
Oh no, I know that. I tell him that too, because you know, God hears my thoughts before I speak them. So I'm honest. People go, wow, I'm mad at God. I'm like, I can never be mad at God.
Yeah.
There's no justification for anger toward God.
I've never been angry at the Lord for anything. I've been angry at myself for missing obvious cues that he's given me. Like, hey, don't touch that. It's hot. I did it anyway. You know, it's, wow. He said, I told you, you know. So, I mean, I don't know. I've been at this for a very, very long time. And I love music. I do love doing what we do, but you know, there comes a point to where I know enough's enough. The climate is changing in such a way. I think I can benefit the gospel of the kingdom so much better doing something else. Bride is old news. Bride is, you know, the band that you don't want to hear our new stuff. You want to hear us it's like the Rolling Stones. You want to hear the old songs. You want to hear the hits. You're not interested. I mean, you might pick up an album and go, that's great, but you go right back to the classics. So I can't really produce anything new that's going to catch and to latch on. I don't understand this new thing of all the AI stuff people putting out and pretending it's theirs. Now I can understand letting AI help you write a song if you have an idea. and all that's fine as long as you're playing it and not claiming that it's you. I had a guy that I used to sell stories to, and somewhat a popular, successful guy. I'm not naming names, but anyway, he's still out there. But he sent me some of his music. He goes, "Oh, I didn't realize you were a musician. Let me show you some of the stuff I'm working on." So he sends it 100% AI, vocals, guitars, everything. And all AI to me sounds like Nickelback. So anyways, he's got this Nickelback album that he's done. And I said, now let me ask you, did you use real musicians? Oh yeah, I flew out to LA. We got the best musicians in the world. I'm like, you would fly to LA when you're not even close to California. Nashville's right down here. Got musicians in Nashville too, would have saved him a lot of money. There's not a real piece of music on that whole thing. So you can't lie to me, somebody that's recorded close to 2,000 songs, and give me some AI stuff and tell me that it's real stuff. It's just not. I just won't use it. It's and matter of fact, I can't sing the songs that they're producing. I don't know where you get your air at. These AI guys don't have to breathe. I mean, man, you're here and here and here. These melodies are bum, 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 bum. I mean, it would be a nightmare to have to learn one of these songs, but some people are, and I mean, we use Pro Tools to shift stuff around. We use reverb. We don't use natural reverb. So a lot of it's not AI, but you're using what you've got. And maybe AI will catch on and I'll understand that thing a little bit better. But I want the raw organic. I want nice rock and roll when I listen to rock and roll. It don't have to be.
So what Dale just said for everybody that's watching, he wants to continue being the singer of We Are Resolute, or
yeah. So retirement's coming from Bride, obviously, and the focus is going to be on writing and whatever else the Lord throws into your lap, which I'm imagining is going to be more things and some exciting things. You've been a gun for hire for quite a while, or a mic for hire for quite a while.
Thank you.
What's that going to look like going forward? Or are you going to pull back on that, or are you going to be select the groups that you're going to still work with?
Well, I've officially retired, so I actually draw Social Security.
I do too.
Yeah, and Bryan does as well. So we know you can't hardly live on that unless you got some other income coming in. Mm-hmm. I was fortunate enough to have been a multimillionaire. So I sold one of my planes, and that's sorry, I don't know what I was talking about. But anyway,
straight face too. That was pretty good.
Yeah, so I've got to supplement my income to a certain degree. So I will continue, to work with bands like We Are Resolute and anybody that wants to hire me for this and that. There's a project coming out that I just did. I can't tell you who it is or anything, but it is smash big. And the guy's been mixing on it for a year. It's like turning it into a Boston album, I think, because it's taking him so long to do it. But he sent me just a little clip, and I was like, "Are you sure that's me?" Because it made no sense to me. It's like, how do you get me to sound like that? That's great. But yeah, there's some good stuff coming out, and I'm willing, very affordable. If somebody wants to hire me for a song or for multiple songs or an album or whatever. I'll still do that because I got my ProSonus here and it's ready to go. I can just plug it in and sing right into the mic, and yeah, so it's not too bad.
If you haven't heard Dale, which is kind of weird for me, but because there are younger people that haven't heard the good music, check out Bride, check out We Are Resolute, check out all his projects that he works on, because you'll find something in your genre. I mean, you've got Hunted No More.
I promise you'll go broke. You try to keep up with everything that comes out.
It's funny because people start naming the bands that I've contributed to, and there's such a gamut. Like if you take something like Dapster Gentleman, and then you turn around and listen to Haunted No More. I mean, that's night and day. And then you go over and jump and listen to Perpetual Paranoia. It's like, I mean, the gamut that I've had to cover, and I'll admit I have not done my best on some stuff. Because it was sort of out of my wheelhouse, but I'm like, yeah, I'll give it a try. But now I would be more like if somebody sent me a song, if I can't do it justice, I won't do it. If you send me something and it's spectacular, man, I'm going to jump in on it.
You make my songwriting better. because I remember when, and I know we want to joke about this. You refused us twice, right? But I was like, no, I know you can do our stuff. And then when you did, man, John and I had to grab our jaws off the ground because
the thing of it is, I think you got better at songwriting, and we all do as we go.
Yep.
So your songs start coming together.
Yep.
Because what I always looked at you as was more of it reminded me of stoner rock in a way, because the guitar is kind of, there's a groove in there, but the guitar is like really filling up some gaps. You know, like in stoner rock, they pretty much lead section all the way through a song, and you know, they don't really say that much. Sometimes it's just music, but that's one of my favorite styles of music because it's so groove oriented. And even your vocal had a real 60s flair to it when you sent it to me. It's got more of that. Oh shoot, there's artists back in the day, you know, that anyway, but it just had that. It's like we're all sitting around a campfire, man, and this dude's just playing, and that's what I got out of it. Even though it was rock, I'm like, you should have been doing your stuff in the 60s. But then when it all started coming together, we started shaping the music up, and then We Are Resolute turned into something a little bit different. Not that it was necessarily better.
Yeah, we're still the same, but we've advanced.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, just like a turbocharger kicked in. Because I remember you sent me, forgive me, but I don't even know the name of my song.
That's fine.
You sent me something somewhere along the way, and I was like, wow, man, this song, I wish all the songs were like this. And I can't remember what. And then after that, it seemed like the songwriting really got on board. And you might have found yourself as a songwriter at that point, you know, where it's like just clicked. And it's like, yeah, man, I'm happy to do this.
Would you remember which album? Maybe this one? Because this is when we started finding our guitar sound and everything. It's Fallen Angel.
Oh, yeah. It's on that album because I remember that Fallen Angel.
My favorite song is Don't Walk Away.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I think it was around that area. How many albums have we done? 4. So, okay. 4. All right.
And the next one's going to be a double disc because of Bride.
You might as well. You can see this. You've seen the success we've had at it. It made me retire.
I don't care about that. I want to get the gospel out. I know you're joking around.
That chaps me because that last Bride album and the people that were complaining about, oh, it doesn't, you know, we want the old stuff. That was definitive Bride sound. I mean, you can't capture Snakes and Kinetic and I'm forgetting the name of the other one.
Scarecrow?
Which one?
Scarecrow.
You can't capture that era more than what you did.
True. I mean,
double disc.
And you kind of get tired of trying, you know. When we did Snake Eyes, I'm like, well, maybe they'll look at this like, you know, Snakes Part 2. They didn't. So we did, you know, Here Is Your God, which is screaming. I mean, Demon Speed and all that. I mean, that
great album. Yeah.
And it was like, yeah. Show us what you got next time. I'm like, okay. So are you awake? And it's like,
nope, they're still sleeping.
Yeah, I'm like, are you kidding me? And I'm only saying that because the album sales are not good at all. I mean, you go from here down to here, and you can sell more to your relatives than you sell across the world. And then we did the Vipers and Shadows, and I'm like, man, this has got Bride all over it. This is the quintessential. This is the genuine. This is the authentic Bride sound. And at the end, I think we were giving CDs away. So
that's heartbreaking because if you've got people that are crying for something and then you provide it, and that was a grand slam out of the park. Double disc.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was some of our best writing and performances, and it was just spot on. But like I said, you know, we're kind of old school, so maybe we have had our day. We've run the course, we've fought the good fight, and maybe the race is over and we're still running ignorantly. Maybe we were supposed to stop back there and got a little bit of water.
Wait, this just in. Jesus just told me that you have to jump on board with We Are Resolute now. I'm just playing, Dale.
Yeah, I mean, it is. And you know, when the same guy, the same singer that despises me, who recently made sure that he made sure I knew it. He was really angry with me over some comments I made about people not showing up to shows. But first of all, what is it his business what I say about my fans? But people want you to come to the shows or bring the show to them, and then people say, "Oh, well, car wouldn't start. I couldn't find a babysitter." There's a million excuses. I should write a book on the excuses why you did not come to see me play live when I was 2 streets down from you. That should be the title of the book. I mean, if they don't want to, they don't want to. It's not their fault. It's not my fault. It's just the way the world is. It's the way music is.
I was hoping you guys would make it to Michigan, but oh well.
You think about it. When Taylor Swift is a billionaire and everything she touches is platinum, that tells you a lot about the music of the world. It's changing, people aren't people aren't buying the albums like they used to unless you fit into some sort of the one thing about Taylor Swift is she does write her own songs. I did watch the documentary. She's quite talented, but the craziness of just not Taylor Swift, it's everybody in those other genres that have momentum and have grasped the youth. We can't build a youth army now, not with what we do. So what we do, we cater to guys your age, and we cater to guys a little bit older. Our fans are from 35 years old to 75.
Yep, I was just looking at those numbers.
Yeah, and that's our audience, and it's 90% men as opposed to women. Bryan never did attract the women and the girls to our shows, and when they were there, they came with their boyfriends. There are heavy metal girls in Christian music, of course, but the majority is a bunch of dudes that don't have friends and they come by themselves. So you go to a show, as an example, and I'm being funny again in my own way. You show up to do a show and there's 100 cars in the parking lot. Oh man, this place is going to be jam packed. You go in, there's 50 people. Okay, where's the other 50? Even if you came one at a time. Oh, the flea market was on.
And
it's like, okay, who brought a friend? One guy. Who came alone? 49 hands. Dude, get some friends and bring them to the shows. I mean, people used to do that. It's like, hey, I didn't even know who you guys were until so took me to a show.
The internet has changed everything too, though, with Spotify, iTunes, and all that kind of stuff. Has changed for sales and stuff like that. And everybody's lazy and their attention spans are low.
Yeah, because go anywhere in this world right now, whether you're on a bus, a train, the airport, the supermarket, or even on the highway, and just watch the video clip of a girl texting. She looks up, no hands on the wheel, looks up, hits a telephone pole.
Or the one that went underneath the semi truck and had her head in the back seat while her hands were still holding the phone. I saw that one. That's enough to wake you up.
I mean, we are everybody is addicted to this thing, these phones. And I find it unusual for myself because I'll watch that phone and it'll be like, I don't need to check. I just checked 10 minutes ago.
But your brain's telling you.
And you keep thinking, it's like, well, I did make that one post. I need to make sure nobody's hijacked my post. So you're setting yourself up to have to look at the bloody thing. Yep. I wish there was a way I could remember my passwords, and I would just shut down my Facebook from time to time and just come back on.
Hey, Tracy Ferry does that constantly because the first time he did it, I thought he unfriended me, and I was like, "What did I do?"
Well, that's the thing is I have a bad time remembering anything, and if I say, "Oh, this is easy," I would never forget this. I'm like, "What was that exactly?"
Oh yeah, every time I have to log into something, I got to rechange my recovery and come up with a new one.
Yeah, I got a brilliant idea. I put everything on my phone and my notepad, all of my passwords. And then one night I was so tired. I don't know how I did it, but I deleted my list. I'm like, oh. My heart dropped because back in the day I'd have 10 numbers memorized.
Yeah. That I can't memorize like that now. No.
Nope. Well, we could have if we kept going and smartphones didn't dumb us down.
Yeah, that's down. My chess game's way off.
Here's Josh Reynolds says, I'm probably the odd man out, but Snakes in the Playground is the best Christian rock metal album ever made. but it's not the best in Bride's discography. That's
Whoa! Now I don't know who that guy is, but he might get a free sign up to my book club.
Do it. Joshua is one of your biggest fans, dude. We've been friends on the internet like what, 7 years, Joshua? Maybe more.
What's his last name?
Reynolds.
Oh, Joshua Reynolds. No, he's going to have to pay.
Sorry, man.
Sorry, Josh. Sorry, man.
That's going to be a clip on TikTok. It's got to be.
Yeah, that's going on TikTok.
That was awesome.
I thought you were talking about a different Josh. I don't know.
No, that's him. He's all over the place.
We have totally hit our hour mark.
We started late.
It felt like we started 2 minutes ago.
Yeah. Did you have actual questions, or do you want me to just keep talking crazy?
No,
we really just wanted to give you the forum to. I mean,
well, I mean, if there's something, if there's something that somebody wanted to ask me that nobody else has ever asked me, other than, "Hey, how'd the band start?" That's probably been said a few times. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate being on here. Yeah,
I'm interested in what's next. I know back in the day, I remember you were doing email. You were emailing out sermons that you were preaching or writing and stuff. Is that anything that's coming down the pike?
Well, I've got a lot of that already saved and stuff that I've done a lot of writings that I just haven't released. But I'm working on this book club for a lot of different reasons. First of all, I need to supplement my income, and so $20 is not a whole lot to ask people to kind of give you a handout. Just had a $1,600 ambulance bill, so I've got to take care of that. So you run into things along the way, and creating these books that we do through Velox is not a lucrative thing whatsoever. And I found out that a lot of people don't read, and that's kind of a drag. Some people went on audiobook. Well, hey, you have no excuse anymore. My first 2 books are on audiobook. One is done by Otis Gyrie, and can't remember. They got another guy do the second one, and he's real good too. But yeah, I mean, so you can buy the audiobook, but actually buying off Amazon, I get no money from that because of the contract that I've signed. So only the books that I sell, and that's why I was so adamant about, hey, I'll personalize the books for you if you buy them from me. And I did have a pretty good success on that campaign, to sell some books. Mm-hmm. All right, well, I guess I'm going to go since he's gone. But
wow. Don't have to special.
Yeah, so I do have one Christian fiction book. It's about a dystopian world. It's called A Testament of Rust, and that is a Christian oriented book. But all the other books are going to be more secular in their content. Some of the scary stories will have elements of Christianity in them, because you can't have good without evil, and you can't have a scene that you can't have well, he's got them all. Yeah, very cool.
I haven't read them yet because I got to be in the mood.
Yeah, you got to. Yeah. Well, it's a thought it counts anyway. That's
there.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so there you have it. They are real. I'm not just yanking.
They're real.
It's not a scam. It's not a scam. They're like, I didn't even know Dale could write. It's like, no, I can write.
Dale Thompson runs huge book scam.
The books do not exist. But no, I would really just, for the people that's going to watch this live now and people that's going to watch it later in their own time, I appreciate the whole Christian community. We've had a very good run. We've known a lot of really good people. Have met artists that I was in admiration of. To know that I've been on the same stage with Petra and Striper and Bloodgood and Sacred Warrior and White Cross and Guardian and just Fear Not. There's so many bands. If I keep naming, somebody's going to be mad that I left them out. But there's this. It's amazing thing because I grew up listening to, in my young adult life, I grew up listening to some of these bands like Resurrection Band that I never would have guessed that one day I'll be playing with them at a show, and hanging out with Glenn Kaiser and Les Carlson and Mike Lee and or Michael Drive. I can't remember his name anymore. He's changing it. Anyway, just, I mean, it is amazing. I got to know John Schlitt real well, and he shared some of his hobbies and stuff, woodworking, and it's good to meet people like, and even back in the day with Larry Norman. I mean, we did shows with Larry Norman. I did a show with Andre Crouch. Wow. It's like, come on, I did a show with Al Green. How much cooler does it get than that? So, I mean, I'm just a little dude from Kentucky, little redneck dude. If mullets were back in, I would definitely have one, but I haven't really seen them surge except in a certain inbred type people. But yeah, I mean, but I'm, I'm amazed that God could take me and do something with me, and all my faults and all my weaknesses. It's crazy. And I'll tell you now, I have nothing against nobody, regardless of what you might think. I just think that, if people have issues, and I tried to call somebody the other day on the FaceTime, I wanted to FaceTime them and just tell them, hey, if there's an issue, let's talk about it. I got blocked. So they don't want resolve. They don't want resolution. They want war. Wait.
Nice. I like how you did that.
Yeah.
Hey, Dale, you mentioned all the people that you've been able to meet and all that kind of stuff. Like when you said yes to us, I didn't realize that the door that would open up. Like, remember when I was telling you I was trying to get Timothy Gaines, but I couldn't get a hold of him? And you said, well, I just got off the phone with Tracy Ferry and he said he's willing to talk to you. What was my response right away?
Yeah. I mean, it's
give me that number.
I'm amazed that Tracy still talks to me. And I mean, because I find that he's a real rock star. He's good night. I mean, his resume now is massive,
and he's a real man of God. He's down to earth, and he and I have a lot of similarities. He pointed out in messages. He's called me and prayed with me, as you have, and you've done videos praying with me. So,
well, there's so many good people out there, and I want to continue to promote the people that I know are genuine. The people that I don't mention, there's a reason I don't mention their names. So you can just whittle that down to people that I feel like that they've obviously misunderstood me. And
can you say my name out loud once? I'm just kidding.
Yeah. How's that? Didn't you join that dating site? Oh no. Just going to ask you how that was going. I didn't.
It's definitely American women are different nowadays than they were back in the 80s.
Well, they're probably more independent, and that's for somebody like me. If you to find somebody compatible, I'm so blessed that my wife came along, and it's a miracle because I met my wife online. That's so weird. We see people now that they do shows about people like that. I'm like, how stupid somebody doing that. Like, that's us.
And then I thought, hey, this works for other people. And then it's a nightmare.
12 years, man. I mean, 12 years and things are smooth sailing. I mean, we have never really had some sort of bitter argument. I've did some stupid things where she's been mad at me, but that's just me.
Normal.
Yeah, it's just normal. But yeah, I mean, it definitely was a godsend to save my life. So
God's in control. I trust him.
Yeah.
But I still have to do something. I can't just sit here in my house and I'll never find anybody.
Well, it's going to how much faith you got. You never know when that little Mormon girl is going to knock on your door, and there it is. Love at first sight.
Woo! Oh my goodness, the JWs and the Mormons. I was a professional handling them. I had a piece of paper next to the door for when they interrupt my sleep. And Dale, I never looked at the main guy because there's always the expert and then the trainee. I'd always focus on the trainee. This guy here, I'm not going to talk to you, but you need to hear the gospel.
It's a mistake when they knock on my door and I tell them what I believe.
They probably haven't heard of it before.
Normally they hand you the pamphlet and say, have a blessed day, and off they go. So
yeah, they flagged my house in Florida. They would skip it. because they knew if they got stuck there, it was going to be a long conversation, and they were going to come out in the short end of it.
I was with my grandpa, his friend's house, and the Mormons came to the door, and he goes, "I'm a retired Baptist minister," and they walked away, didn't even say a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you got to brainwash people. You got to find people willing to be brainwashed, and and they do. I mean, they've got their tactics, and it's proven. I mean, obviously they've got big people following those cultish things. So.
And millions of dollars worth of money flow going through that cult.
Yeah, you mentioned something earlier too about a lot of these people, they love the Lord. They really truly love the Lord. They don't realize what they're doing, and that's a shame that they're misguided in what they're following. They might love Jesus and pray to God, but they're in a cult and they don't see it. And that's quite sad.
It is.
Well, guys, anything else going on? I'm only saying that because I got shrimp in there. I'm going to eat in a minute. Box shrimp and sauce.
Let everybody know where they can buy your books.
Yep.
Oh, you go to Amazon if you want to buy any of the books. Check them out. You can actually read excerpts from them on Amazon, but I write under the name of P.D. Thompson. That's Philip Dale Thompson. So P.D. Thompson is my pen name.
Get my fingers out of there.
And I think there's 9 books up now that you can purchase. 6 are ready right now. They'll send them to you. The other ones will be out by July, but you can go ahead and pre-order. I'm not taking any more orders, and the reason for that is I have to buy 10 books at a time. So if you order a book from me now, I'd have to buy 10 of those books to get it at a decent price to be able to send it to you to pay for it. So that's why I did this big pre-order thing and had people send me money already. And now their name's on the list. As soon as I get the books, they get. So I only had to order, about 100 books. So and that was, and I won't be stuck with having books here I can't even give away. So, but yeah, that's the best place. If you want to join that book club, man, it's cool. You might get a story you don't like. You might get a story you do like, but then if you read, you're gonna like them because they're written well. I don't rush through them.
Hey, who picked the artwork? Because I know some places they pick it for you, or they only have general stuff. Did you pick this?
No, Velox is doing all that. I made some suggestions, and they always ask me, "Do you like this?"
Okay.
And they always send me the book beforehand that I go through it and make sure to the best of my ability.
Well, they look cool, man. I'm telling you, because I love sci-fi.
Yeah.
So once I get reading, I'll read them through, Dale. I promise.
Well, I tried to get them to take my sci-fi material, but they're not a sci-fi company, really.
Okay.
And I almost had them to take 3 books, short story books, but he said he's going to wait on that. But I'd like to get my sci-fi out there because that's what I used to read only in the day was sci-fi. David was it David Bryan, Ben Bova, Isaac Asimov, Ray Bradbury. I mean, all of the guys.
What about Ted Decker?
Who's that?
Ted Decker.
How new is his stuff?
Dude, he's been around for a long time. His daughter's an author now.
It might be a different type of sci-fi than.
You need to check out Ted Decker because it's kind of like a Christian Stephen King.
Yeah, he's kind of got more horror than sci-fi, but it's good.
Oh, that's probably why. Because I was really into just the hardcore sci-fi, Ashton Clark Smith and people.
Give Ted Decker a chance. See this tattoo right here?
Uh-huh.
That is the Circle series. It's 4 books. And the black is the sin, red is the blood of Christ that washes clean, the white is the being washed, and the green is the new life.
Oh,
You can start at book 1 and read all the way through to book 4, or you can start in book 4 and read through the other way. That's why it's a Circle series.
I've never been able to read backwards though. That I might better start with.
It doesn't feel that way at all.
Yeah.
I've done it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I got it.
I'm telling you, it doesn't feel that way.
I can't read anything backwards though. I mean, if I started, you would start with end, and then bottom of the last chapter. I can't. No, it doesn't work for me. I don't. Oh, you didn't mean it like that. You meant.
I knew you were giving me crap. I knew
you meant sequence. You didn't really mean reading it backwards.
Yes, but you knew. Don't even try it.
Man, I missed that altogether. How stupid.
Dale would have been reading it.
Well, see, you can do it. I can't.
I just turned into Robin Williams and Jim Carrey at the same time.
Yeah. But yeah, buy my books, buy the writings. If you can find my albums, buy them. Boone's Overstock and Girder usually has them. And the Boondogs got a new album coming out. Perpetual Paranoia has a new album coming out. Theo Throne has a new album coming out. We Are Resolute has an album coming out. Ordained has an album coming out. And there's also a couple more surprises. Probably might even be another Not of This World. So we'll see.
Well, that'd be cool.
And then bridepub.com as well.
Yeah. Bridepub.com will take you to our home page, our website, but it's very seldom updated. Best to do is either hunt Troy or I down. If you want to know things that happened in the past, you got some questions, contact Troy. If you want to know what I'm having for lunch or dinner or something like that, you can send that stuff to me. Yeah, because
you're having shrimp.
I'm having shrimp. Yeah. That's what my wife said. She said, "You want this boxed shrimp?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll box a shrimp. I like that."
Yeah, and we're keeping you from it. So,
well, no, I appreciate it. I mean, I really do. That you guys are doing a good thing, and every once in a while I jump on and I say hi or whatever. You know, I just
we appreciate it.
Put my 2 cents worth in it. And I watch as long as I can stomach it. And then, no, sorry, that was a Don Rickles. That was Don Rickles. Sorry,
us too.
Yeah, I always loved Don Rickles. Man, he could get back.
Yeah,
anybody can insult Sinatra face to face.
Yes, when they do those. What do they do at the banquet? And they roast.
Oh yeah,
roast.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I still watch that. I watch all the old stuff when my wife lets me. You know, I can.
You watch the old
Johnny Carson,
the Newlywed Game.
Yeah, and you know who was on the Newlywed Game? Do you remember a guy named Paul Lynn who was the center square?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Paul Lynn was on the Newlywed Game, and he won. And of course, Paul Lynn was gay.
Yeah,
and he used this date with this really good-looking girl to go to Italy. So I was so interested.
Was that the dating game?
Yeah, the dating
game.
Yep. Dating game.
Oh yeah. So I was so interested in it. I looked it up to see, and he didn't take the trip. She went with somebody else. But he couldn't take the trip. But I always like to watch that. And as small kids, it was too racy for us to watch. Yeah, but I didn't realize that until I was old enough to understand the jokes. By then, it was okay for me to see it. I could put things in perspective.
For me, it was hee-haw when they brought the girls in from the cornfield.
Where are you tonight? Why did you leave me here all alone?
I hate country music, but every time my mom watched that, I made sure I was there for that section of the show.
Yeah, and you remember what they did? I thought I found true love, and then he spit or something. I can't remember it now. But anyway, yeah.
Something about true love, and then she was gone.
Wasn't for bad luck. I have no luck at all.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna haunt us the rest of the
I found true love and she was gone.
Yep. There it is.
Yep. All the young people are like, "What are these old farts talking about?"
Well, yeah, I mean, they're
the young people watching this.
I know that's right. They're only 35 to 55.
Well, you know, I did watch a little Columbo the other day and some Rockford Files, and I watched some Dick Van Dyke and Andy Griffith, and because none of this new stuff.
Riptide. I mean, what about Riptide?
I don't
remember
know
that helicopter with the smile face with the teeth. The brothers that were investigators. No way.
I probably came on Channel 41, which we had to have rabbit ears for that. And they didn't work.
Oh yeah.
I was kind of down to 2 channels by the time I left home. So.
And then my brothers were my remote control back in those days. I just punch them in the arm and say, change it to UHF.
That's true. We had no remote control. And that's why we got hooked on shows, because nobody wanted to get up and change it.
Yeah, you watched what was there. That was it.
Yeah. Lawrence Welk.
Yeah.
No, that was time to go home.
Yeah, that was bad stuff at Lawrence Welk. I don't know what he was drinking, but that was
the bubbles.
Yeah, something. Him and
this has been a fun interview.
Well, I'm glad. I mean, I'm serious most of the time, but most of the time I'm not, which levels me out to just being, normal in my own way. But
no, you're a primo 10 of 10 on the dork scale, because some of the times you send me some stuff in Messenger, I'm just cracking up, all those little GIFs and stuff, or GIFs, whatever.
Yeah, I like a good sense of humor. I like British comedy better than American comedy. So, yeah. So
they had one where they had like a anonymous, the AAA or the what is that? You go to anonymous, whatever. You sit in a circle and you tell your stuff.
AA?
Oh, double AA, yeah.
Yeah, the AA meetings for procrastinators or something.
I'll tell you how bad it is. You know those guys that sit on the dock and they tell dad jokes?
Yeah. I've seen those.
I'll watch those for 20, 30 minutes at a time, laughing my head off. And,
it's just stupid funny.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's way stupid funny. All right. Well, after I eat this shrimp, I've told a friend of mine, he's very adamant that I go with him tonight. We're going to try to bright light a Sasquatch because we've got footprints back in the back around my gas tank. So tonight, I want to see what we can find.
Oh, great! It's gonna be like
bring that up now when we're done with our show.
Well, once I become a paranormal investigator, I'll be back.
We will have you back for sure.
Top story at 11. Dale Thompson goes crazy on road less traveled.
No, man, that's I've been talking to other people about doing other shows on that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, you know me, I don't believe a word of it, but I believe it all. So there you have it.
Joshua just said go live, Dale, with that.
Oh, did he? Well, we could.
I'd watch it.
I have to charge up my phone. I might do some serious stuff like barefoot hunting. No, my feet are too tender for that. Bigfoot hunting. Yeah, that's.
I'll pay Joshua Reynolds to wear a Bigfoot suit and scare the crap out of you.
Well, you really don't have to do that because they go through portals, and I think there's one back by my gas tank. I think there's a portal, and that's why we can't get a good. My neighbor's got a trail cam. We see deer on it all the time, but we also have seen eyeballs in the woods that don't come forward that are taller than a deer. So I'm just wondering what that is. It could be a raccoon, but.
It's just Troy out there playing around.
Could be. He's quite a mountain man. So, well, guys, I'm going to go eat some shrimp.
All right. Yeah. Well, thanks so much for being with us. Thanks to everybody who tuned in and commented. Yep. And we'll be definitely looking forward to having you on again. And if you catch a Bigfoot, can we get an exclusive on that?
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, if he can talk, even if he can't talk, I'll make him talk. We're going to get what's going on out of him. So.
Oh, good. We'll have Bigfoot as a guest.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to get the exclusive on the Bigfoot capture.
Harry and the Hendersons. There we go.
This has been a great
episode.
Thanks
so much, 70. Man. God bless.
Don't forget episode